Yeah.
Now we have to spend money on a half-made game and then pay money on top of that to play online. And then they're charging us $35 for a bundle pack.
This accident.
I think they're testing the market there.
Yes.
Dude, accident. $35?
I 100% saw this, and I knew there's no way that you're thinking differently than me. You're telling me that people just willingly bought this? But it did blow up online. This is officially the highest paid bundle that they've ever put out. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 158 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how you doing, bro?
Doing pretty good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
Got the day off.
Yeah, I know. Thank you to the dead presidents.
Yeah. Thank you to all of them.
Yeah.
Shout out. These are like one of these days that I never really understood why we always had it off, but we do.
Yeah. I don't.
People actually celebrate this.
Well, I don't even know what the point of President's Day is.
You know, I don't really either. Like you were joking there, but I'm like serious at the same time too.
Yeah.
Like, we're celebrating dead presidents, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it is.
And like what they've done for us.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I'll take it. Freedom.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. It's the same thing with what was it with Christopher Columbus Day?
Yeah.
Having Columbus Day off, and then you know how it came out. Newsflash that he was not really the nicest guy ever.
Oh yeah.
He did a lot of bad stuff,
yeah,
pillaging and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's like,
but he discovered America.
He did, yeah, right.
By eradicating the indigenous people
that already lived in America.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about them.
Yeah.
So, but hey, he gave us a day off work, a day off school.
Yeah.
So shout
I mean,
out to him.
that only for some people though.
Yeah,
like,
that is true.
Like, I always where I work, I always just assume that I have to work. Because usually this is a weird holiday to have off for me. Like, normally if the market's open, I always just assume, like, all right, I have work.
Yeah.
And today's just one of the days where I don't have work, which is nice. But, yeah, I know a lot of people that are working today.
Yeah, well, like your dad's working today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was surprised, too, man, because yesterday you were like, oh, do you want to come by at, like, 12? And I was like...
Yeah.
I was like, I was surprised because again, usually like you're always working.
Yeah.
You get very few days off. Like
yeah.
Actually, where you don't have to. So no, it's nice to come by a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
Got the coffee going. Doing our thing. What I did too. Finally, was I went and glued my Astro back together.
Yeah.
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 I didn't talk about this last week, but like I guess I just had it that long, or I sweat that hard when I play. But the like cushion on the outside of my Astros, it just came off.
Yeah.
So every time now when I go to play, I have to go and just like grab it from the outside and then put it on my head, and then when I take it off, it just completely falls off.
Yeah.
So I Gorilla Glued that son of a bitch back together.
There you go.
So now we're slowly getting some new tech coming in.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I'll wait until that thing is completely dead. Mine's like really scuffed up. Like it's just, I mean, they're old.
Yeah, I can't remember when we got our headsets because we have they're the A20s, right?
Yeah, I've had mine for a while.
You've had yours longer than me. I want to say I got mine during Black Ops 4.
That sounds right.
I think that's about.
Was that sophomore year of college or junior year of college?
I think it's junior year of college. I think because sophomore. No, it might have been
2019. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah,
because MW came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember World War II was my. That was our sophomore year of college. That game came out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So yeah, during senior year of college, which I'm like, that wasn't that long ago, but then I think about it.
It was.
Bro, that was 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like we're getting old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always gonna be saying that. I'm like, that was like 2 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
But no, that headset's been doing really well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. So I don't really see a reason to be buying a new one.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I've had mine since, I want to say, like, I got it freshman year.
Yeah.
Because I had it during the BO3 season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's, what, how many years ago? 2016?
Yeah. It was a long
Back time, yeah. 8 years? Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, the headsets, though, like, it's pretty easy for them to, like, stretch quite far because you're not really doing all that much with it, you know? You just throw it on and then you're good to go.
Well, and ours are plastic.
Yeah.
It's not metal.
That's true. So. But the controllers, though, like, that's a different story. I mean, you've got your new one.
Yeah.
And you've had, how many scuffs have you had? Like 4 3 or 4 scuffs.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. One was forced when I got the PS5.
Right.
That's annoying because
Right.
that other one works.
So it's technically still good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the controllers, like for sure, for tech that you have to spend money on, like they go really, really quick. I saw something on this morning on Twitter. Some guy was mentioning, and I went and replied to it about the PlayStation one. It's the Edge, the PS5 Edge controller,
the dual Edge or whatever.
Yeah, and he was really hyping this thing up, being like, "Dude, this is the move. Like, you know, I'm done with scuff. I'm just gonna be using this thing from now on. It's really good." And I looked, the guy like doesn't have a lot of followers, but this blew up. Like it got like, you know, I think it was like 100,000 impressions last I checked, and people were like, "Dude, is it actually the move?" Like, because I haven't heard much on this.
Yeah,
you know?
PlayStation like just announced it, and not many people like bought it.
Yeah,
I mean, Xbox has had like that for a while. Like they've been making their own custom controllers for a bit, and PlayStation finally just got on it for the PS5. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people are actually going and buying that. Because most people, when you think of competitive, like just gaming in general, people automatically think of Scuff.
Yeah.
Because they're the first to basically go onto market and be like a big brand.
Right.
But if everyone switched over to PlayStation, or PlayStation or Xbox, that's a different story. Like they're just huge.
Yeah. No, I think that's like Scuff and Battle Beaver. I mean, obviously they are the first ones that everyone thinks of, but with this controller, I wonder if they actually like made any improvements on the formula, you know?
Yeah, my only thing that I'm skeptical about is it's probably just default. Like you can probably customize the mappings and stuff, but you can't customize it as much as a Scuff or a Battle Beaver.
Yeah.
Like the like taking the rumbles out and stuff.
Right.
And having like the mouse click triggers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. I've never used one, but that's what I'd imagine like the edge is for the Scuff and stuff, because I'm pretty sure it's called the dual edge, and the PS5 like dual controller is, you know, it has like the rumbles and stuff, and you want to feel the like vibrations and stuff when you're playing games.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think all that stuff off the bat from when you buy the Scuff, I mean, that's what makes them so fun, or just personal, because everything that you want in it, you can just put that in there yourself. And then obviously the mapping for what you want, you can do that afterwards. I don't know if you can do that on this, on the Edge. I'd assume you could.
Yeah, I'd imagine that you can remap like, buttons.
That'd be wild if you could. It was just default.
Yeah.
Know? But that depends too, because I don't care at all. Like I have whatever I got from my original Scuff, like that mapping for the triggers on the back. That's how I use it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't change any of my button mapping. But I know some people do. So if you couldn't do that, that'd be a pain.
Yeah.
But I think they're priced at around $200.
Yeah, which is pretty fair.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I was seriously looking at it just this morning. I was kind of looking around, just being like, I wonder if I could get one cheap, you know, like one that's refurbished or something, and just try it out and see if it's good.
Yeah.
But I got to do more. I got to do more research on it.
Yeah, I mean, $200 is fair for not a controller, but a controller of that in comparison to like Scuffs and Battle Beavers and stuff. So if you guys are new and you're coming here and listening to us saying $200 for controller is fair, it's fair for the market it's in.
Right.
Yeah, that's absurd for a regular. Like if we told like any of our friends, yeah, our controllers are over $200, they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
You can go to Target and buy a $60 controller.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't even think they're $60.
There's
aren't they like 75 or something now?
I think they're 70. Just something like that.
Yeah.
Which is an investment.
PS5 controller. I mean, but the PS5 controller is like actually good.
Oh yeah.
Like compared to, I'm sure like if you go back and hold the PS3 controller, dude, that thing is jank.
Oh yeah.
It's just plastic and like a piece of like hardware inside. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's tough between the PS4 and 5 controller as the best, in my opinion. I think the PS5 for me in my hands is most comfortable.
Yeah, I think for most people, because like the stems are longer.
Yeah. And I noticed too, granted, I haven't put as many hours and like years, I should say, into the PS5 yet, just because I don't know, I've only had it for however many years now, like maybe coming up on 2, if that. But it just seems to be like better quality, you know. Where I think back to my PS3 and 4, like bro, have you held your old PS3 controller recently? you know, or
It's
like
bad.
recently.
It's just jank.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of sticky and
Yeah.
gross. Like it just got all messed up.
Mhm.
You know, my PS5 controller from the day I got it to now, it's still the same.
Yeah.
You know, I feel no wear on it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the quality of PlayStation like just going up now because Xbox, like back in the day, the original Xbox and the Xbox 360, those controllers just always felt more higher quality than like PlayStation. Up until now, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say they're on par now, but I mean, yeah, I don't even think it was a question between like the old PlayStation days versus like the Xbox days. The controllers, like PlayStation controllers, were just plastic,
Yeah.
just and didn't feel like good.
Yeah, and overall too, like it's hard being a PlayStation person, but you got to admit, like the 360 was the better console back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
Xbox did reign supreme for sure.
Yeah,
But now, dude, they've fallen off so hard compared. Like PlayStation, Sony have just taken over.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
in every way imaginable. You know, but no, I do like the old 360 controller. I remember holding it. I mean, a handful of times, and I go play it. At friends' places who had it. I really, really like that controller. I prefer a bigger controller, and again, I think that's why the PS5 I prefer, just because those stems, like you were saying, on the arms,
Yeah,
they're just long. It feels more comfortable.
yeah. I never had it. I have the original Xbox, and like that controller is somewhat similar to the 360, but yeah, all my my other friends, they had like 360s, and yeah, I was a poor one that had a PlayStation because it was free.
Right.
So you spoiled fucks listening that had a 360.
Yeah.
Xbox was a better console. Yeah, if you had money to play online.
Well, dude, that was the thing too. That's what turned me off from it so much. And I think I'm the same way. Like I ended up getting the PS3 because of that. Because you could just go and play all these games online for free.
Yeah, well, I'd have to pay to play with my friends. Granted, we're doing that now.
Yeah, I know.
But we're adults now, and if we have to, like, we're forced to.
Yeah.
But, you know, back in the day, like,
well,
imagine paying money to play with your friends.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, and thinking too, like, well, you have to do it on Xbox now, right? Like, you still have to pay for online.
Oh yeah, you've had to pay for Xbox.
Now it's
service.
just like it's the standard. It's like, hey, if you want to have a good time playing games with friends, give us money.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back then, at least PlayStation was giving you the option to be like, hey, maybe the experience isn't as good, but you don't have to pay anything for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like imagine we bought Call of Duty and we could go on PlayStation and play for free, like with each other.
Yeah.
Now we have to spend money on a half-made game and then pay money on top of that to play online on a half-made game.
Yeah. Which is complete.
Yeah. And then they're charging us $35 for a bundle pack.
You saw this.
Yeah, I saw that.
This accident.
Dude.
I think
they were testing the market
Dude,
there.
yes.
Dude. Accident. $35?
I 100% saw this, and I was like, dude, there's no way that you're thinking differently than me. Like, I tweeted out, I'm like, yeah, this little mistake.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, sorry, we're going to go and refund you your 1,000 COD points. I'm like, I think they wanted to go see how many people would buy this thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, how many refunds do we have to do? Wait, you're telling me that people just willingly bought this?
Yeah.
No problem. But it did blow up online. This was instant. I saw like was it Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone? They tweeted it out in like a matter of minutes, being like, "This is officially the highest paid bundle that they've ever put out."
Bro.
Yeah.
Half a game.
Dude.
Or like multiple games on the PlayStation Store right now.
Dude, honestly, I think that is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's shameful.
I still think $25 is like shameful. Remember back in the day when camos were $2?
Yeah, bro.
Like you could pick you could pick like camos, just buy them individually, and like DLC packs, I think they're $10. They're 10 or $15.
I don't get why this isn't a thing anymore. I feel like they would make more money. Maybe I could be wrong, you know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, what the hell do I know about that? But I feel like, I mean, speaking for myself and you, I know, like, we're very hard sells on trying to buy any of this stuff, you know? I mean, we've said it so many times before. The only things that I'll ever buy are the Breach stuff, and then if they do a Snoop thing, like a Snoop Dogg, I'll buy that. The Walking Dead one, very enticing.
I was close to buying that. That was
I
cool
know.
because, again, like, I am a fan of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you're big time.
But if I could just buy Rick and it was $10, I probably would have bought it, but I can't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, you have to go and buy everything else with it. Like, I would do the same thing. I'm not even as big of a Walking Dead fan, but I would go and buy that if it's only like, $10, $6, but yeah, sure. Like, why not? That's so easy. And it's just it's the psychological manipulation, right? It's like you'll buy something that's $99, but if it's 140
Yeah.
or like 120, you're like, no, dude, that's way too much.
Yeah.
You know?
But and it's the value too. Like we buy the Breach stuff obviously because we like the Breach, but you get the skin, the camos for all the weapons, and you get the little badges, and you get the charm for $10.
Right.
I think no, I think it's $12 now. But you get all of that.
Right.
When if you go on the store, you look at the same bundle, but it's not CDL. It's $25.
Yeah, and it's like, I would say with everything with the Breach, I like everything that they put in there. you
Yeah.
know? Like I'm not insane about the stickers and everything. Like I'll put them on my gun, but I'm not like losing my mind over how cool they are. you
Yeah.
know? But that's for any of them. Like I'm just not a sticker person in COD.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
again,
saying?
yeah. I'm not buying the bundle for the stickers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm buying it for like the main, like, and same thing with the weapon charm. Like I really want the camo and the character skin. And $12, I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. But if it was like, again, the 25 where they go and throw in all this other crap, like the charms and the stickers and some like dumb emote, I'm like, I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah, which is that $35 bundle. It was two camos for just two guns and a bunch of stickers and charms.
Yeah.
Which I could not believe for $35. Like, what happened to the days of the $2 camos and the DLC packs? Like, again, like you said, you would think they would make more money, but I think I think that's just wrong. Like, I think as a society, humans are stupid, and there's a bunch of people that are just spending money on $25 bundles, clearly. And think about back in the day when you could buy like DLC pack 1 and you got like 3 maps, maybe a new gun and some camos and stuff, and that was like $10 to $15. Where now it's $25. You don't get any of the maps, none of that stuff, and you just get like cosmetic stuff. And back then you buy that once and that was it. This, like, you can just keep buying over and over and over again. And we're the hard sells that Activision, they probably hate us. Like,
100% they do.
They hate us. We are not customers that they like. Even though we probably play more than the majority of the people probably buying those skins. And they're taking advantage of the kids that, Mom, Dad, like, I want this skin. Please get me COD points. Please put your credit card so I can buy this. It's like the Fortnite points. Except Fortnite is
V-Bucks.
way cheaper.
Yeah.
V-Bucks, yeah. It's definitely cheaper than COD. So, I don't know. Again, we've talked about these microtransactions. I hate them. But, yeah, $35, that's outrageous.
Now, do you think, this is a question I think of a lot now, especially like I was sitting and pondering this. Do you think that we as consumers in the gaming space have changed over time?
Yeah, I think it definitely, because I think the large majority of gamers were like up and coming gamers were like in our generation growing up. Like, I think back when we were kids gaming and we were playing against like the 30-year-olds and like the people that are 25, 26 like us, they were like ahead of their time, like gaming that early. Because I mean the stigma has changed too. I remember back in the day when if you played games, like, you were just a weirdo.
You're a loser.
Yeah, and then imagine being like 25, 26 back then, and like you're playing video games against us who were like 12, 13 years old.
Right.
And the large majority of us came from that era, and we didn't have money. And now we're all adults, and now we have adult money, and we're just like instantly just buying stuff.
Yeah, it's weird though, because I think of, I mean, and that's a really fair point. Like those people that were playing or back in, I don't know, 2011, 2012.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, 9 to 12 and around there, whatever. And they were 25, 26 years old. Like how different the landscape was, you know? I mean, again, they're playing on what, PS3 during that time?
Yeah, PS3, Xbox 360.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, are they still playing? And are like, because they would be what? They'd be in their 40s now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'd be in their like late 30s, early 40s. And I wonder how many of them kept up with it, because back then there was no pay to win. That like did not exist as a concept. I don't believe, or at least it wasn't a mainstream thing, particularly in Call of Duty. But now I say like it's not as much of a pay to win. I think that like depends, and they've tried to get a better hold on that. But just the amount that you are able to spend in a game it's egregious. Back then you couldn't buy. There was no microtransactions at all. The only thing you could buy was just the map packs.
Yeah, and those were like announced.
Yeah.
Like you had to go and I'm pretty sure you had to go into GameStop, right? And then buy like the code.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that, or you could like I remember
you
on
can go,
PlayStation.
Yeah, the store.
Yeah, when they had the PlayStation store, because I remember back on like World at War and MW2. That's what I would do. I would go there, but I do remember. You just like unlocked a memory there. I do remember on one of them on World at War, one of the map packs. It was the one for Shino Numa. I think that was map.
What's it like a GameStop exclusive or something?
I went there to go and get it. Yeah. If you brought in your copy of the game, then they would like you could go and purchase it. They had to you had to have proof that you had the game. It was some weird thing like that. I remember going with my dad. He had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, but dude, that was time back in the day. Because for me, like I only own physical discs. Like I didn't I was late to the game, but I just refused to download games for a while because I remember you telling me like you don't own the games if you download them.
Yeah.
So all of us that have digital content, we don't own any of it technically.
Bro, I don't own like 95% of the games I have.
Yeah,
Change that.
Yeah,
98%.
Yeah, like all my PlayStation 5 games, they're all digital now. Like I've converted everything to digital. Yeah, it's a lot easier, but I remember back in the day, I only went to go buy physical copy games, and like I just didn't buy anything digital. Also because I didn't have like fast internet, so it took forever, like over a day to download like 5 gigs.
Oh yeah,
no, and copying. I remember copying was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, where, like, I'd have to leave my PlayStation on forever. Or the fact that there was no rest mode.
Yeah.
Like, I remember back on my PS3 when I had to go and download The Last of Us. Bro. I remember I left that bitch it was downstairs in my living room. I left it on all night to go download that. It was insane. I remember, like, I started it, and I was like, it was 1%. I went and had dinner, finished 3%. I was like,
yeah. And I wonder how many people listening to this are, like, around our age or, like, younger. Like, when you got the game, you couldn't just go back home, put it in, and play right away. You have to install it, and then it would have to copy, and then you can play the game.
Yeah.
And it would take forever.
Or you think even back then, like before that, the PS2 days, how simple that was. You just grab the disc, throw that in there. There ain't no download, no copy, no nonsense. It's just plug and play. And I love that, But, I mean, that was such a different time, and the games were so different. I do long for those days. But like going back, I think about how we have been as consumers. Like you have not been somebody who's like, you buy games all the time and buying like new stuff for games. You're very much like, and I'm the same way. Like we buy the game and we play the shit out of it. And if we buy anything, it's like very, very minimal, because they already got my money. I don't want to give them any more. But like all these bundles that they put out, there's people out there who just are constantly buying these. Like there's definitely people out there who have close to $1,000 invested in Call of Duty.
Easily. Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah,
easily, and like in total.
Yeah,
like they probably just they don't pay attention, but yeah, Activision hates us. They hate customers like us because we don't go out and spend money over and over. We're loyal fans, but we're so loyal that you need to give us like good stuff for us to get.
Yeah.
Because we're not just going to go spend our money like willy-nilly on just random bundles. And, I mean, what if you think about it? Mobile gaming is like the biggest type of gaming in the world. Think about all the people that just, buy coins like on their phones for just like random apps and stuff. Yeah. And gaming, like on console or PC, it's the same thing except more money.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you and I bought a bundle for $25, it's not going to kill us, but it's the principle.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
we're just not gonna buy it because it's not worthwhile for us.
Yeah, the only things that I spend money like on the extras for a game are DLCs. Like if they are for something like the Assassin's Creeds, like you're playing Valhalla, like I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, like I'm sure you're gonna buy the DLCs for that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and like you did that same thing for Odyssey, like I did as well. You know, like I'll pay for that because to me that's worth it. Like we're getting extra content that it has like good quality put into it. Where that stuff, I'm like, bro, maybe I'm just out of my mind, but I feel like they could whip that up in a weekend, and then they're like, yeah, let's slap $25 on it.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's the we're stuck back in the old days where we would go spend money for content, like because we get DLC packs, we get 3 new maps, like a zombies map, like weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
There's actual content in it, whereas like this is just all cosmetics.
Yeah.
It's not more content added to the game.
For way more than what like map packs would cost.
Yeah,
You know?
way more.
Like I can't remember how much a map pack used to cost, but I want to say it was like $15.
It was like $10 to $15.
Yeah,
like around
no
there.
more than that.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd get like 3 new multiplayer maps. You get a zombies map. Like it'd be good stuff. Yeah, we're the exact same as when we were like 13 playing the game, and now we're 26.
Yeah.
And we still just like, I mean, like, yeah, we have the money to go buy it, but I still refuse.
Dude, it's just
I'm
like
still just like, I don't care.
yeah, it's like a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad that I'm not like born now to where like all this microtransaction stuff is just around, because like that's all kids want now. They just want like V-Bucks, or they want extra COD points, whatever, Valorant skins.
Was it
Just
was the Roblox money, the Robux or something like that?
Yeah, Roblox. Yeah, it's just it sucks.
Yeah, it's an era of game. Like if you don't know what it was like back then, and this is just your norm. You just think that this is what you have to do. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go and buy money and all this stuff and spend. When you don't realize that years ago you would pay less money for more stuff, and now it's just been a steady decline. You know, regarding what you get. For them, it's been nothing but an incline. Like they've just been making more and more money every year, I'm sure, off of this stuff. But for us, like you said, we're the worst customers, because I am never gonna pay $25 for a bundle unless it is like my dream collaboration of something. Like if they did Formula 1 drivers in Call of Duty, I'm like, I'll pay for that. You know, like your Walking Dead one. Like I'm surprised you didn't buy that. You know. But that even still, you're like, I just can't do it for that price. And yeah, the $35. I think this was a little test. I think this will be a thing though. I think in a couple of years they'll start doing this.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, right? Like we were complaining when games they went up to $70. Like brand new games, they're $70. They used to be $60.
Yeah.
Now, you know, if you go on the PlayStation Store, you buy a AAA game, they're all $70, which is. Again, inflation, but also it's crazy.
Well, and that's why now you just like,
and we get a half-made game.
I never go and buy a game right when it comes out now. Never. Like actually, I take that back. Call of Duty is the only game that I buy when it comes out.
We again, like we will if we know the content there is like worthwhile, like very, very worthwhile for us.
Yeah,
I think I can count on both my hands the amount of games like outside of Call of Duty that I bought at full price. And
Uncharted for me.
Yeah, I bought Uncharted 4, GTA 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West on the PS5. I'm trying to think. There has to be more than that. I'm probably just blanking.
Maybe Assassin's Creed, one of them.
No, I've never bought Assassin's Creed full price.
Yeah.
Ever, yeah. Because Assassin's Creed always comes out around like October.
Yeah.
Around that time period and like Thanksgiving. So I'd always just wait till December and
to
get it on sale.
Yeah.
I've never bought an Assassin's Creed full price, which is crazy.
Because you're a big fan.
Yeah, but it's always because it falls around like Call of Duty. So that's why like I would just play COD and then buy Assassin's Creed later. And the other thing is, now seeing the Assassin's Creed on the PlayStation Store, and you see just like they're so devalued after like a year.
Yeah.
Like the depreciation on an Assassin's Creed after a year is insane.
It's
like
in a new car. Bro.
Yeah, it's insane. So it's like I bought Valhalla for $20 and I got
you got scammed.
Yeah, I got it for $20. I got like all the DLCs with it in it, and the game is way more than $1 an hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like such a deal. Oh, GTA. What I say?
GTA, Uncharted 4,
Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. I bought Last of Us 2 right when it came out. I'm probably blanking, but like I really can't think of any other ones right away.
For me, like mine would definitely be. I remember Red Dead 2. That I for sure bought. I remember I played it the night it came out. But it's the same thing though. Like we're talking about these games, you know how long they've been like working. Like, and of course, like when GTA 6 comes out, like I'm buying that.
Oh yeah.
It's not even a question, because again, you just know how much time they've put into this game. You know, it's not a bad. There's not even a question about it being a bad product. Call of Duty's kind of a throw of the dice, Sometimes
you exclude COD,
yeah, you're like, it could be. And then same thing, like we were just mentioning a little bit about Assassin's Creed. Like we were talking about this a couple nights ago. After we play, usually we'll just go to the store and like see what's if there are any deals and anything. And I might go buy Mirage, not to play it, of course, because I still gotta do Valhalla. But it's like $34, and it's usually a $70 game. I'm like,
no, I think it's
60,
50 when they announced it. Yeah.
So, but I'm like, I kind of want to get it because I'm like, that is a really good deal. But then at the same time, I'm like, motherfucker, I know.
Bro,
3 months.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like 12.
I'm telling you,
dude. Like, dude, I got scammed.
Yeah, like when I buy it, because I'm not buying it anytime soon.
Yeah.
But when I buy it, dude, that game's gonna be like $15.
Yeah.
$10-15.
Yeah. I probably like saying that.
You should go buy Valhalla.
I have it already.
Oh, you already have it?
Oh, yeah. I got Valhalla for free.
Oh yeah. Play that. Like
I'll just do that
wait.
Instead. Yeah, it's not worth it. But these games, I mean, they're just so like devalued, bro. When I was at Walmart and I saw Cold War, those fools still charge $70 for that game. I mean, they gotta wake up, bro.
Like, I mean, no one's. That's the other thing. You pay $70, you own the game. We're getting all these games for like 30-40% off. Technically, we don't own anything, and we're just like,
so we really getting finessed here. Who knows?
I mean, dude, if PlayStation out of nowhere, Sony's like, you know what? We're shutting this down.
Yeah.
They just shut down all of PlayStation, and we imagine losing all of our games.
Oh my god!
All of everything that we have.
Well, and same thing too with some of these publishers. Like we were talking about Call of Duty, like with Activision. If they ever wanted to reclaim some of this stuff, which I know to people they'd be like, "That's ridiculous." Like they would never do that, bro. I never take anything off the table. Like especially with them being how they are sometimes. Like anything like that could happen. So I have all my Call of Duty titles, bro. They could just snap of the fingers, get rid of that for me.
Yeah, it's very slim. But again, you never know with these developers.
No, exactly. And who's ever going to go up against them?
Yeah.
It's like they're like some I don't even know if I can't even imagine how much Activision is worth as a company.
Yeah.
Like 1 billion. No, I'm kidding. Like, bro, I can't see anybody ever going up against that Goliath of a company. Like, who's going to say otherwise to them? It'd be ridiculous. But I'm sure you saw some of this too, kind of pivoting, talking about them anyway. This was big news regarding, it was like CDL stuff, and then it was more basically about like the Call of Duty League and like professional gaming as a whole. I'm sure some of you may have seen this, but if you haven't, this was a lawsuit that Hex and Scump from Optic Gaming filed. They filed a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard and the CDL over an unlawful 100% monopoly over the Call of Duty League.
So those two will go up against Activision.
Yeah, they will. And I don't know how they're going to do against them.
I don't either. I respect the shit out of it. Yeah.
Big time.
But yeah, they just adjust.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. And before we go into it, disclaimer: we are not lawyers. Honestly, at the end of the day, I understand like what they're suing them for, basically. And for people that don't know, like a monopoly, like there are legal monopolies, which is fucking insane to me that monopolies can be legal.
Right.
But there are illegal monopolies, and they're claiming that what Activision and the CDL did, they formed a illegal monopoly.
Yeah. And if you don't know what a monopoly is, that's like just pretty much they have complete ownership of like an idea or a right to something, basically.
Yeah, an entire market.
Yeah. Like another one that I would think of is the UFC. Like the UFC has been claimed. I don't know if they do have a legal monopoly, but they bought out a lot of other like rival competitors, so they wouldn't have any competitors.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
They're a legal monopoly. I mean, like, you're right. They have bought out a bunch of other competitors, but they're legal because, again, it's all in the words, right?
Right.
Because technically they are not a monopoly because WWE exists.
Right. And there's like, bare knuckle FC.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they're like, go to them then. If you don't want to be with us, go to that.
I think a really good example is because I wrote my thesis in college about this.
Here we go.
It's telecommunication companies. So I wrote fucking like a 65-page like thesis.
Jesus Christ.
Insane, bro. For my senior thesis.
You ain't doing that shit again.
No. It's so interesting because like when I saw that, right, it brought me back to my college days. I was like, oh wow, like this stuff that I'm learning about econ and like all the different markets and holding like market value actually applies to the real world, which I know sounds stupid. It does apply, but when you're in college and you learn some of this stuff, you're like, this is never going to happen. Like COVID, for example.
Right.
Like the stuff that I learned, I was like, the U.S. will never do that. It's never going to happen. And then it happened. I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
it's real. But besides the point, like a good example is a telecommunications company. So like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Mint. Like, say if Verizon was the only one that owned the entire market, that's fucked. Like that is because everyone would have to have a carrier plan with Verizon. Everyone in the world and America. It's messed up. It's like when T-Mobile bought out Sprint, when they merged together, there was a huge like lawsuit between Sprint and T-Mobile because they said that if T-Mobile bought out Sprint, they would end up becoming it would create a monopoly between Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. They would be the three largest carriers in the U.S. And that went through like court and everything.
Yeah.
So basically that.
Yeah, I mean I don't really know enough about like the background of it because again, like that's what they're claiming.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of it too is like how it all led into the CDL, like especially with him, because I mean I won't go too much into it, but because like you're gonna go and read the whole article about it, like all the specifics of it. But I believe it was a question, or part of the problem is that he had to put in a certain amount of money to obviously get into the league, and he owned everything. He owned Optic, but they're like, no, we need like investors and we need other people like for your backing. Which he was like, what do you mean? Like I have the money and I own everything here, So then he had to go merge with people. Then that ended up going south. He had to do this a few times, and he's lost money for sure because of it. Because of what they made him do. And I'd imagine that what he's trying to do, along with some of the other teams that may have gone through similar things, is they just want to like recoup some of that money.
Yeah, and again, if you guys are lawyers, you probably know better than us. Let us know because I'd be actually really interested because this has been going through the Call of Duty community, competitive at least. And if you go and watch the flank and stuff, Ben goes off about this, and Ben's actually a really good source to talk to because he's just really good with this stuff. He's not a lawyer, but he understands this type of stuff really well. But yeah, it was like Hex. I think it was the $3 million that he brought to, I guess, like the CDL, and was like, "Look, I want to be the commissioner of the CDL." And Activision was like, nope, you're not suitful, I guess, which is fucking crazy to say to someone like him. And again, I'm just, this isn't like every single detail, super high level, but saying that Hex needs to bring on investors, even though he had the $3 million like ready to go. He's like, look, I have the money and I want to run this. But they were like, no, you're not credible enough. You need to bring in large investors, which is fucking crazy.
That's insane to say to him.
To him, yeah. So, guess what? He went out, brought investors and stuff. And look at where the CDL is now, right?
Yeah.
It's not in a good spot. But yeah, and with the whole Scump thing, like I don't know everything about. I'm assuming Scump is claiming the same thing for the most part, in terms of like what Hex and stuff. But yeah, it's super. It's gonna be a big lawsuit in terms of like esports as a whole, if it goes through. Which I don't know. Activision could. I hope for them it's like a settlement. Like, yo, I think they're claiming $680 million. I hope they're like, yeah, here, take like $500,000 and leave us alone.
Yeah.
Or it's just gonna get dismissed, which would, suck. But it's crazy to see in esports like people like Hex and Scump going up against these, giant developers.
Well, and I think that's the overarching point about this whole thing, because again, I would be really shocked if this gets a lot of traction. I mean, I say that right now. That's just because I think about what they're going to have to go up against in Activision Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
And like the 2 points you had said, either it's settled at a court or if they just dismiss it. Those are really the only two options that I would imagine are going to come out of this, and with two outcomes. But I think it's more the statement that two of the biggest names in professional gaming for Call of Duty are coming out against them, and the CDL. It's definitely like a nail in the coffin for the CDL.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people were saying, and I would agree, because most people, like, we've seen on the flank and just online, people have talked about this probably being like, we're in the final stages of the CDL. And, from time to time, you'd hear Scump and Hex say stuff about it and, not being really happy about it for sure. But this is a full-on, legal document that they put out that they clearly have been working on for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some people being like, dude, they just whipped this up. So I'm like, you are out of your mind. Like, they had to have been working on this, I would easily say, for like at least a year.
I'm sure, yeah.
Trying to get this drafted up.
I'm sure Optic got their lawyers. It was like,
instantly.
we gotta figure this out.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes and how, like, I mean, we'll follow this as time goes on. I would imagine this is not going to be something that's resolved within the next couple of months.
Yeah.
This is going to be a drawn out process. But by that point, who knows what we're going to have? If we're still going to have the CDL, or if it's going to be broken off into
open format back in the day.
And then how does that work with them, since it's like some defunct thing that they used to have,
Yeah, I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should just enjoy the rest of the CDL for now. Whatever. I mean, enjoy's a loose word.
Enjoy that Boston Breach win that we got, baby.
Exactly. Yeah. Shout out Asa.
That's what we got to enjoy.
But it is like really big news in esports and COD as a whole. Like these two guys standing up against, the giants of Activision. I'm just more worried about, like you said, like going to court and stuff. This could be a whole like other discussion, but I can't imagine going to court with all these old fucks.
Yeah, who know
nothing about video games, and they're like, "What are you disputing? What? You're talking about video games?
Yeah,
a professional league of video games? Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah,
like, and that's just a problem as America. Like as a whole.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you guys have seen like those TikToks or Instagram reels of people in the Senate, and they're like, "Do you connect to Wi-Fi?"
Yeah.
So we have these people up there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go into it. But
or the same people who say like you play GTA and GTA is gonna turn you into like some murderer or like driving on sidewalks, killing people. I think you're out. It's like, come on, that's such an insane take.
There's a stigma around gaming, and it's definitely less because of the masses of people playing video games and professionals and stuff. But in those type of like situations, like I would say for the most part, most of those people, like they still have that stigma of video games are stupid, and they're not even gonna like look at this, which is a shame. But this is like a big moment in like esports as a whole.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. And this has nothing to do, though, with the game itself.
No.
Like that's the thing. Some people were kind of drawing that to like, the disappointment with this game, which I don't really know how you could even make that comparison. It's more of the fact of how this league has been run.
Yeah.
Because as far as we know, I mean, like the game, like MW3 has been a huge success. Like it's been doing fine. People, like we have our things that we really like about it and things that we don't like about it. It's more just about, and it's not even really about like the players or anything. It's just about this, like it's an owner's thing, I would say, more than anything, as to what was needed to get into this for a lot of them. So that's where like the problem lies with them, because like Call of Duty's been chugging along no problem, and it's gonna keep on going here. Because I saw we saw this maybe a couple weeks ago now, which I was excited about this. I get excited every year. It's always like the wishful thinking and hope. But with COD 2024 coming around, dude, I'm like, I don't know why I think that shows that I still love this game, because every year I still get the same feeling. I'm always just like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's always it's a COD cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll cap it off there with the lawsuit talk. But
We didn't wear our ties today, bro.
yeah, I know. Yeah, my big question with that, like, last thing is I just wonder if the other owners were like involved.
Yeah.
It's because right now it just seems like Hex, which I mean, I think he's a great representative of like all the owners.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the other orgs were involved and like owners, and they're like, Hex, go fucking do it. Like, do it for us.
Yeah. And I think pretty much, I would say everybody in Call of Duty right now is on their side.
Yeah.
Like, way to stick it to the man. Like, screw those guys. And I'm on that side too. Like, I hope whatever they're looking for, they get.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be nice to see if there are other owners that share the same sentiment or feel the same way, whatever it may be, come out and say something about it, or at least make some comment on it. That would be really nice. However, I don't know, that might cause more trouble to them.
Yeah,
I don't want to touch that. They're like, they probably say Hex and Scump, they have every right to go and do that. But yeah, I will say though, my thing on it, my last thing is, you see that bullshit statement that they put out afterwards? Yeah. They're like, this hurts, the brand, this hurts, everybody involved, from the players to the teams.
They're disappointed in them.
And all the hard work that we've been putting in. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Clearly, whoever wrote that, they don't watch the CDL. They don't know anything about Optic or like the Call of Duty community at all.
Whoever
clearly wrote that.
Dude, I'm telling you, whoever wrote that, they are the definition of a suit, bro.
Dude, it was probably just a lawyer that's like, what is this? Like, let me just write a blanket statement to cover everything and not know anything about the community. But yeah, I mean, again, we're all on Hex and Scump's side. I don't think any of the owners will come out and like speak on this, because I'm sure Hex and Scump probably are not going to speak on this at all. Definitely not on stream or like anything. It's all going to be behind like closed doors until this is like completely over. And like, who even knows if they're going to talk about it after it's over? I'd hope like some other owners come out and like make some statement after it's closed, but
yeah, I saw when they did the watch party, Hex did go on there and say that like, like, we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
And just kind of leaving it at that.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's stuff going on in the background for sure, but I'm not going to be answering questions right now.
Like, that's not their job. Their job's to entertain.
Yeah.
Watch the games and stuff. And speaking of the games, like you said, Boston won with their new member Asim.
Hell yeah.
That series, it was good. There's stuff that they still need to clean up, and I'm sure they know, but they look really good. I think Asim's a great fit for Boston, and I think he'll help out Snoopy, and it'll fit the team well. I think now we have a really good chance of like getting the first like chip for Boston. And I really want it to happen so bad this year, because obviously like we don't know if this is the last year of the CDL or not. If Boston can win one, oh, that'd be great.
Because what's their best placing? Is it third?
Yeah, third.
Yeah. No, they definitely have right now the team to do it.
It's just a shame that all the like this game, there are a lot of like really good teams.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very top heavy.
Ultras, I think Ultra right now though is just way above even like Optic and FaZe. They just know how to work as a team together. And I saw they broke like Toronto Ultra's previous record of wins in a row. They've won 10 games in a row, which is insane.
Yeah.
No. In this, like the CDL format, 10 games in a row they haven't lost. Like,
they're on another level. I mean, I think everybody would have to put Toronto Ultra, obviously, because they just won the last major too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, did you watch that game yesterday with Rocker and them?
Yeah,
Did you
dude.
see that?
Yeah. Watch the whole
Dude.
series. It was so close, and then
I thought Rocker was gonna do it. I was like, "Come on, Vivid!"
Rocker just ran out of gas at the end.
Yeah.
And that essence, there was the moment where it was a 2v1,
Envoy.
and then Envoy clutched the 1v2 somehow.
15 seconds left.
Yeah.
Has to defuse the bomb.
Yeah.
He's in a 1v2 and he wins it and defuse the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was like the nail in the coffin for them. I was like,
Yeah. No, when I saw that, I was watching the flank on it this morning too, and they were talking about that. I remember I just saw that. I was like, man.
Yeah.
You see that gif? The guy takes the headset off. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, forget about it.
But it's surprising for Rocker that they went that far. I mean, they still lost, but they did go that far against Ultra, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely a team to be reckoned with. Like Rocker is looking good, but that Search and Destroy, of course, they just fell flat. You know.
Yeah, I think they just,
like you said, they ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Or just couldn't adjust, whatever it may be. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough year for the Breach in general and for all these teams because they just have, like you said, there's a lot of teams. Like, of course, Ultra, FaZe, and Optic are 100% the top teams, but then I was just saying too, like Rocker looks really good. And then you see Vegas looks good. Carolina, like they all look good.
Yeah. I would definitely say we're like that middle tier right now.
Yeah.
We can, like, we're like 5-6. We can definitely break into the top 4. It's just a matter of like if the teams below us like turn up that day or not, and obviously us too, right? But like Carolina could pop off at any time. Vegas can pop off at any time. Rocker's just been playing like really consistent, right? Like, Miami's just not doing well, but supposedly in scrims they're like frying and stuff, and it's just, again, it's COD.
And I'd say right now the only team that is just I feel really bad for them because I don't know what they've got is Thieves.
Yeah,
Thieves is the only team right now that it's really hard to see the good in them.
They were literally like up here, and then Octane left. Well, the entire team left, and they just went straight to the bottom.
Yeah.
Which it's like, I think the players that they have, they're all great players. They're clearly not meshing.
Yeah.
And it could be the game, it could be the chemistry, it could be they're all young, no leadership. There's just so many things to like unpack there, and yeah. It sucks seeing a team like that.
I think this is the first time, though, we've ever seen a team go from being one of the top 3 teams. I mean, they won the championship in Vanguard, then MW2. They were still a top team. Did they go? No. Where did they? Actually, no. They bowed out kind of early in MW2 champs.
Yeah.
I mean, they were still a really good team. That was a big surprise. Mm-hmm. But being one of the top 3 teams, top 4 teams, and now being dead last in the league.
Yeah.
Pretty much like performance-wise. It's really strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to see, like, now the game yesterday was Optic versus Thieves, and I put it out there, like, because Call of Duty was like, they 3-0, so I shocked them. I was just like, wow, bro, can't believe it. Like,
And the thing is, too, is obviously all the players on Thieves they're completely different, right? I think a big part of it is their chemistry and the game, because all those players are, like, I would say, it's not a good description, but like cracked out players.
Yeah.
This game, I don't think allows to be cracked as much because a lot of them are just really fast subs, and I don't think it works out on this game. And also, too, like, side note, I think this is a really good example of if you are a Thieves fan, you better be a Thieves fan still, because they're at the bottom, a brand that big. If you don't have loyal fans, you're still not supporting the team, you're not a true fan.
100%.
Like, every single team is going to go through adversity and stuff, and now if you hop off the Thieves bandwagon because Nate is like, he's being a father, freaking Octane, Kenny, Envoy, and Draza have all left, and now you're like, nah, these sucks. I'm going to go support Optic, Ultra, other teams. Like, you're not a fan.
It's, of course, always the people, too. Like, I'm sure now Ultra has even more fans because they're at the top.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, dude, I love Toronto Ultra. And I'm like, I like Envoy,
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I don't like the other guys, but I'm always going to be an Envoy fan because he was, on the Huntsman and on Optic, so I like him. And same thing, it's like with Boston guys, like every time there's going to be a Vegas game, I'm always going to be cheering for Nero. Like Nero, he was on the OG team. These people got no loyalty to like the brand or anything. They just give up.
Yeah,
Man, screw 'em.
Because like we're all like, obviously, right? COD and esports as a whole, like, we're tied to the players. We like follow the players. You can be fans of the players, but I just hate seeing on Twitter or X like the people complaining about like these teams and just like throwing shade at them. Like, dude, just support your team. Like, if you just like the brand, the team, just keep supporting them. Like, I think these players know that they're playing like shit.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to tell them that.
Yeah.
And seeing Kremp, like he was on Boston. I have his freaking signature up here. Yeah. And Kremp, like he was a top player in Challengers. Like obviously got picked up to go on Thieves, and he didn't have like an amazing debut, but also look at the 3 other people, like you support them no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be the ups and downs, but that's what it is in any sport. You're always going to have those moments.
Yeah.
We're always going to be Patriots fans, even if it is very tough right now.
And this isn't even like a bad drought.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, people like with the Thieves, they've been doing good. I say like almost every year, because Cold War was kind of a rough year for them when they came in, but. It hasn't been like they're some 40-year franchise. Like, this is the one year where they're really bad. Cold War, they were like, kind of up and down. But yeah, people are going to jump ship on them after 1 year. It's like, bro, don't give up on them so easily.
It's just the star players, like they don't have like a big name, like a following. It's just crazy to see the fans that were supporting them, and now they're not because all their players left, which again, like I get it. It's fair,
that's how
right?
COD kind of works.
That's what makes COD, so unique, and just esports as a whole. Like, you follow the players, but it stinks for the org. Like, Thieves obviously doing like watch parties, selling like really cool merch, doing like all they can to show the fans that they're here to stay and stuff. And then all those fans just jump in ship because Octane and Kenny Envoy left. Like, you know how many Draza, you know how many players have left Boston and we still like support them and then support Boston?
Yeah, it's just the nature of how it goes. And like you said earlier too, which is a fair point, like, the chemistry with them and maybe like on this game as well. Because there's players for sure who don't have good titles. You can't always rely on that excuse though. Like, you are professional, you got to just get into like whatever it is, you got to be good at it. But I think it's wrong to say that there are games that certain players prefer and styles that they prefer to play and games that work with that, like you said, and I totally agree. Like, this game, it's a lot harder to play super cracked, like super fast running around, which a lot of those players do that. Whereas like, maybe another game that's down the line a couple years maybe supports that a bit more.
Yeah. And I'm going to add like a good example, I think, is Insight on Ultra. You look at him this year versus just last year, like he's frying this year. Like he looks like he's going back his like Cold War days when he came in for Ultra on Cold War. Like he was frying on that game, and there's some similarities there. Like this game, it takes a little bit longer to kill. That game too. This game, like, you can slide cancel on Cold War. You can slide cancel on this. He's always playing like in those like cruddy spots. But back in MW2, like he was still trying to play like, his play style, but you just die so much faster. And, I wouldn't say he was like an insane superstar from last year, but this year, like, he's playing super, super well for Ultra.
Yeah, and like all those guys are just there's no weak link on that team. And I think, those top 4 teams, like, we're saying what? Ultra, Optic, FaZe, and what's another one? We got Optic, FaZe, Toronto. I say New York. New York's
been playing bad. Like, if you're looking at the score, like, technically rocker.
Like those teams, say like top 4, top 5 teams, like those players are all cemented as just being adaptable players who can play pretty much any title.
Yeah.
And be really, really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just, consistency.
Yeah,
I think,
consistency.
just consistent players who are always going to be good no matter what, and not talking about someone saying they're like, oh, on this COD, that's his kind of game. It's like, yeah, that's great, but how many CODs are you going to have to wait to get another one like that,
Yeah, exactly.
If that's like what you're really banking on, which I think is kind of foolish,
Yeah, and you can't, there's going to be up and downs every year as a pro, but like Insight as my example, if your bare minimum is still above like everybody's like, their peak, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Like just staying consistent. Like look at FaZe this year. Like Abizi, Simp, and Sal. That trio's been together for so long.
Yeah, since the start of the CDL.
Yeah, and I would say this year Abizi's like a down on this year. But his down is still way better, I would say, than a lot of the rest of the league.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like those guys are just, they're consistent year after year after year. And it's even harder for Abizi because that dude's a sub.
Yeah.
And I can, like, game after game.
Good for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like 5 years, right? Because then when did he start competing? Was it in Black Ops 4?
Yeah, that was his first pro team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're going on 6 years.
Yeah. So, Abizi and Simp have been together for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. The duo.
Yeah, no, those guys,
Yeah.
they are the duo.
Yeah. They're not. I would be shocked. That'll be the day if they ever split up. I don't think they will, but.
No.
But. Nah, man. I mean, wrapping up, like, fuck FaZe, man. We're talking about Breach.
Yeah. Yo, let's go slash or pre-stuff.
yeah, legit, bro. Yeah, I mean, like, they're looking good with this win.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can keep this up because we just got done with week 1. So now we got week 2 games coming up. I can't remember who they're facing. I think they're facing
New York. Yeah.
And like you mentioned earlier, New York looking a little. I think maybe Priesta was the glue for that team.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
I just did though.
It does seem like New York. They have not agreed on how they want to play the game together.
Yeah.
It seemed like Priesta was willing to play whatever he needed to be. Yeah.
So I hope we get a little Boston, New York. I hope Priesta gets that revenge game on them.
I thought it was going to happen last split, but they went round 11, and then poor Snoopy fell off the map on high res.
Yeah, that was brutal.
But they got a new team this time.
This is a new team.
Yeah,
new team, new look. Yeah, so it's going to be good. I think Asam at one point wasn't he on New York too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like double revenge series.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking forward to that. And again, if you haven't, be sure to go on YouTube and be following it when the games go on. We're usually tweeting out during them anyway, especially when the Breach plays, because that's our team. So hopefully we have a good split during this major. So then we start off in winners, and then we'll be rocking and rolling, and we get the Major 2 win.
Major 2, yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah.
So it'd be good. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to talk about, man? I think we're good, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's a watch party. There is a watch party. March 9th. I mean, by the time you guys listen to this, like it's in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. So
first announcement of it, we will be there.
Yeah, if you guys are around like the Foxborough area, like go to Gillette Stadium, Helix Center there.
Yeah. Do we know what time it's at?
Game starts at 6. Doors open at 4:45 p.m. Eastern.
So there you go.
Yeah. Go out, get the chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
That thing's fire.
Drinks.
Some fries.
Yeah. Maybe a pizza.
Yeah.
Call it there.
Food's really good there.
Yeah,
and
the food's phenomenal.
Yeah, all the players are going to be there, so.
Yeah. Which, last thing I'll say, this is what I love about, I just saw it yesterday when the Ultra was playing and Breach does it. I don't know if Optic does, but I know those two, and I think Rocker does as well.
Yep.
Having these live watch parties, bro, this is something, I mentioned it, every team needs to do this. It helps build that community within the city, actually having like a city-based franchise. You want people to meet up and get hyped about your team.
Yeah.
Like, is this going on in every other team? No. It's only like 3 or 4 teams are consistently doing this. And plus, you get to go and see them. Like, whether they win or lose, they come down and you get to go and chat. So it's always a cool vibe, especially when they win.
Oh yeah.
And they're all like gassed up, and they got the whole like everybody's there just having food, drinks, and like supporting. Yeah, it's a really really good time.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think if this is the last year of the CDL, go out with a bang. right? Like if you have the ability to do it, you should be doing it. It's cool that like Ultra, they're playing like in front of like the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Like I know for Helix, they have their own like room built out for all the players and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's like sound deafening.
Yep.
So players like when we're cheering and stuff, they probably can't hear it like as much.
Right.
But like it's still cool, you know, like you have a crowd. And if you get loud enough, I'm sure they can hear like through the walls.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's what Ultra. They probably like that because it just simulates a LAN experience for them.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
there and the crowd's going like, freaking out.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And they stand up and they're getting all amped. You know.
And they had a good like showing too. Like I know the risk is right. They do that, and there's like
10 people.
10 people in the crowd, and they're all just like, yeah. But I think if you're able to do that, just take the risk, right? Like. You and I aren't the loudest people, but if there's only 10 of us and the players are in front and they have a big play, we're going to have to scream. We'll like do something. Yeah.
No, you got to. I think it's better to start and do it, you know, than to just like a lot of these people just not do it at all.
Yeah.
You know, which they may not do it in the fear of, you know, we don't have a lot of people coming. It's like, well, how do you know that? You know?
Yeah, you got to build the community.
You got to start somewhere with it. So, I don't know. Well, we will be there. So, again, if you are not doing anything that day, March 9th, and you're in the area, even if you're not in the area, come hang out. It's going to be a good time. But, I think that's it, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
So, we will leave it on that. So, again, everybody, thank you for listening to episode 158 of the COD Casuals podcast. Again, be sure to go to anchor.fm/COD Casuals to check us out on all streaming platforms, as well as going to our Instagram and to our TikTok for shorts if you don't want to listen to the whole episode. And, of course, as well, going to X or Twitter. Still doesn't feel right. That's where we're going to be all the time, hanging on X.
Yeah. Got to update that logo.
Yeah, we have to exactly. We have to go do that. And yeah, of course, if you're going to be on Spotify or any of those platforms, be sure a 5-star rating. Only 5 stars. All right. And I think that's it. So again, thank you everybody listening to episode 158 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.